Hi, you guys. So I'm watching too on my laptop. Well, kind of. So I am going to give us a second to make sure that my eyes are all over the place. Give us a second to make sure that I see it pop up on there. Okay, good. I see it pop up. So we're good. How's everybody this morning? Sam and I are here ready to go. Sam just rolled out of bed. Well, actually, he rolled out of bed and I think, hi, Sherry. And I think he jumped in the shower. Yes, Sam. He's eating breakfast right now, but he's here with me, so that's good. All right, so a few things to talk about before we get started. Oh, I know. So if you are watching live, leave a comment. So we're chatting, and if you'd like to chat, you can chat over on the right-hand side of your screen, and that's if you're watching on a computer or laptop. I'm not sure how it looks if you are watching on your phone, but the chat's there if you would like to chit-chat. Lots of you chit-chat while we're going, and I love that. I do, after the fact, go back and rewatch the video, and then I also read the chat because I like to just see what people are seeing. Sam, if you haven't met Sam, Sam is our 19-year-old that is also sheltering in place with us, so he is wonderful, huh, Sammy? Yes. He's still a little sleepy, but he's been helping. So if you're leaving questions in the chat, he will try to catch those, and then I will answer those where I can as we go along. For those of you that are not watching live, if you would leave a comment just on the video and let me know where you're from, and just say hi, because I would love to see who's here. That also, when you guys comment, bless you, Sammy. That also,
thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. That also helps other people to see the video. The more interaction, then other people pops up in their feed and things as well, and their suggestions. The other thing, and Sam's always so good to remind me of this, and he will probably remind you as well. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you have an option of giving it a thumbs down. Every video, there's one or two. So you can, Sam's looking at me shaking his head. Anyhow, okay, so we're going to talk about a few things before we get going to talk about kind of play today. We are now, though, going to switch the camera. So Sam's going to help turn it and rotate it. We're getting there. Woo! I think we have it. Are we good? Okay, just about. So,
this is why I like it the other way.
well, yeah, but Sammy, it's not working because you can see all this stuff up here. So, well, there we go. Oh, I think we're good. No, yeah. Okay, I think we have it. All right. So now we just need to turn on the lights and turn off the overhead light, and then we will be ready to go. We're going to have a little bit of shadowing, but that's okay. Oh, all right. So as we're kind of getting settled here, you guys, I would love to know if you have watched any of the videos so far. I always recognize lots of familiar faces, and I love that. You guys, I'm actually supposed to be in Colorado this weekend. I was supposed to be at a store in Colorado called NoCo Crop Stop, and I was teaching this weekend, but obviously that is off. So what I love about doing these videos on every Saturday is teaching is so much a part of what I do, you guys, and I travel a lot and teach, and I just love that interaction. So it has been really, really neat for me to do these videos every Saturday. And I'm not a crier, I'm not an emotional person, so I'm gonna try not to cry. But you guys, I just appreciate so much all of the love from you guys and all of the support. It's been really neat, and I hear from so many of you that you look forward to these Saturdays so much, and to be honest with you, I do too. It really gives me something to focus on and look forward to. So get that out of the way. We'll get my voice back to normal, and we're gonna play a couple things. you guys, I say all the time, and I realize that, and I hate it, hate it, hate it. So, there we go. I'm going to try to stop doing that. That's one of the things I'm trying to work on. So that and overusing the word fun, because I tend to do that as well. Okay, if you saw last Saturday's class, last Saturday, we talked about memory keeping in a traveler's notebook. And I shared with you this spread. And this spread, this little stamp that you see right up here, every time I use this little notebook stamp, I have so many people ask me where I found that. And I have a giveaway right now going on Instagram. I found 2 of them. These are very hard to find, but I found 2. So I'm giving away 2 of these sets, and there's that really fun little notebook clip stamp at the top. If you would like to enter to win one of those, just go to my Instagram. I have linked my Instagram in the description of the video. You guys, the giveaway ends tomorrow. That is Sunday. What's today? Sunday. Well, I think today's the 18th. Is that right? So I'm going to say Sunday the 19th of April 2020. I don't want anybody 2 years from now trying to find that giveaway. Okay. The other thing before we get started, if you have watched any of my videos up until last Saturday, I started talking about my fingernails because my nails, I had gel on them. So I had gel manicure, and they were growing out and growing out and growing out. And after last week, I couldn't take it anymore. So I told you guys last week that I was ordering, I was getting a new product that I was excited to try, and I put them on. These are just press-on nails. They're from a company called Red Aspen, and I have linked those in the description of the video as well. But I will tell you, I put these on Sunday night. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm 4.5, 5 days in, and they still look awesome, and none of them have popped off. So a couple of you have asked about that, linked in the description of the video. And now we're going to get started and play. So I have lots of things to share, lots of things that we are going to be working on. Sam left for a minute, so I don't know if I missed anything, Sammy.
You might have.
Okay, if I missed, go ahead and ask your question again because Sam's back. All right. Okay, we are talking about, you guys, we're talking about ways to make your traveler's notebooks more functional by adding different things to them. So the first few things I'm going to show you are things that I have available for purchase on my website. And that is linked in the description of the video as well. The first one is this little guy. And I showed you this, I think, once before. This is a zipper pouch. And it just slides right into your traveler's notebook through that little, through one of the elastic bands. You have a little pocket over here that just zippers closed or open. And then you have 3 small pockets there and then a pocket in the back. So this is a great thing to, if you want to use your traveler's notebook as a wallet, you want to add receipts, you want to add washi. So I have a washi card there. We kind of talked about how to do that in one of the last videos. I'm storing die cuts here, die cuts over here. So that kind of is dual purpose for me, wallet plus having some goodies with me if I want to work in my traveler's notebook while I am on the go. Eventually when I'm on the go again, right? Okay, so that's the first thing, the zipper pouch. The next thing, the photo sleeves insert. So this is an insert that would work exactly like this little guy right here. I'm gonna pull out that zipper pouch, and I will put this little guy in. And the same thing, I'm just sliding it through the elastic. And that, oh, there's my helper's hands. There we go, thanks, Sammy. And that, then I can add photos, I could add more stickers, I could add die cuts. So it can almost be like an extension of this guy too, if you will. But then it also holds photos. All right, the next thing. Most traveler's notebooks, and I'm going to say most, that's very much a generalization, have 4 elastic bands. So they have the 4 elastics inside that are letting us add our inserts, right? So we'll add this little guy back in. And once I have 4 inserts, so there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. I'm kind of full, right? But what if I want to add a couple more things? What if I want to add maybe another insert? That's where a jump band comes into place. So jump like your jumping rope band. These you can make. You just need elastic. I think that's about a 2 millimeter, I want to say. You need elastic, and then you can tie it in a knot. These I have purchased, and these I also have available on my website. So what this lets me do, if I want to add another insert, I'm going to take this insert, and I'm going to take this insert. I'm going to hold them together. I'm going to open them both to the center. So I have both open to the center like that. I'm going to take my jump band, and all I do is loop it through both of those centers, right? So see how that does that? They're just looped through both of the centers. And then I'm going to take one, or I guess the whole thing, and I'm gonna loop that back into my elastic. And now I have two. See how I've added two with one elastic. So jump bands are kind of a fun thing. Like I said, you can buy elastic and do those, or you can purchase them from me too. All right, so next thing I wanna share with you, these little guys. And they just look so plain and boring when you see them in my hand, but this is called a pen loop. That's what I call them, a pen loop. So right here you have the little loop, and then you have this little piece of faux leather or whatever it is, and there's a sticker on the back, and it is really, really good sticky. So what you're gonna do, oh thanks Sammy, I have a sample already. So what you are going to do, let me grab right here. So what I've done right here, I have taken that little pen loop, I've pulled off the elastic. Okay, hang on one sec. I've pulled off the sticky backing, and right there, I've just added it right to my insert. So they will come off if you want them to come off, but you're gonna have to, when you pull that off, I'd be gentle, and you may get a little bit of paper left over on the back side. So you just kind of need to be aware of that. But what that does, that lets me here add more than one pen, or that's actually a mechanical pencil, lets me add more than one writing instrument to my traveler's notebook. And I like to write with a pencil and a pen. It just depends on what I'm doing. So one more thing about that, you guys, you can attach those little pen loops to anything. This is a notebook that I take with me to the trade shows as I'm going around to different booths and making notes on product. But that right there, I just stick that right into the back, and then I have right there with me. So those pen loops are kind of a little fun thing to add on as well. Okay, now we are going to talk about all of the fun things that we can make to make our traveler's notebook more functional. Before I start into that, Sammy, was there a question?
It was, do you ship to Canada and how much is shipping? But I said you ship worldwide and shipping is based on how heavy the package weighs.
Look at you, so smart, Sam. Yes, so question was, if someone didn't hear that, do you ship to Canada? And I do ship worldwide. And shipping cost just depends on what you're ordering and where you live, and really the weight of the package. So one of the things that you can do is when you go to my website, you can add things to your cart and go to checkout, and it will tell you what the shipping cost would be. So you don't have to check out, but once you get far enough along in the process before you actually add your credit card or do PayPal, it will tell you what that shipping cost could be. And you guys, I wish there was something I could do about that. I can almost ship less expensively to Australia than I can to Canada. And I don't know why, that's just one of those things. But sometimes I can get a little creative in terms of how I am packaging things when I'm doing international. So if you look at the shipping and you're not quite sure about that, you can just click contact me on my website, and then we can chat and I can look at your order and we can figure out if there's another option. Okay, so now we're going to dig into the fun part. In the description of the video, I listed some things that if you wanted to play along, work along with me, that I recommended that you have. So, Sammy, will you do me a favor? Will you copy those? Oh, no, we're okay. So I'm using some 6x8 paper, 12x12 paper, a trimmer, some scissors, some adhesive, a pencil, a ruler, and then we will, if there are a few other things that we need that we'll talk about as we go. If you want to play along, I welcome you to play along. I, in some cases, will be holding up a little piece of paper to tell you what the dimensions are. But for one of the things that we do, I also recorded a video about I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago on YouTube that shows you step by step exactly how to make one of the things that we're going to make. So don't get too caught up in, oh my gosh, what did she do? You can always go back and watch the video, and you can ask questions as we go and we'll try to answer. All right. We're going to get started. Let me kind of clear things a bit.
Are we making inserts?
We are. So we're not going to make inserts. We are going to make inserts. That is another one of the Saturdays. You guys, I'm trying really hard to come up with lots of good ideas. So I think the inserts will make our
next, like 4 Saturdays.
We'll make our own inserts, not next week, but the week after that. So 2 weeks. But what we are going to do is we're going to make some different pockets and some different dividers to add to the inserts that we already have. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I have done first, and then we will go ahead and make. So the first thing that we are going to do, and this this is my setup for the month of May. This is part of the May, June, or spring, summer traveler's notebook kit. So kind of what you see, kind of these things here, the things that we're adding, obviously not part of that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create what is called a tip-in. So a tip-in, and you guys have seen me do this a couple of times if you've been watching for a little while. Last week during memory keeping, we took a look at a few of them. This right here is a tip-in. So I've just taken a piece of clear acetate that has some gold foil polka dots on it, and I have used washi to tip that in or to add it in as an additional page. So I'll do that with clear acetate like that. I will do that with pattern paper. So this is an example of a memory keeping spread that I did. Oh my gosh, this has probably been 3 or more years ago now, but I just cut down a piece of pattern paper and did the exact same thing. Took washi to both sides and tipped it in.
Charlie says hello.
Hi. Oh, Charlie. Charlie Balkin. Is that who?
Oh,
can you see?
Yes, it is Balkan. Because Riley, but it's
oh, yeah. Charlie, my friend from Manitoba, maybe. Anyhow, so those are a couple examples of tip-ins. So taking a piece of pattern paper and then also taking a clear acrylic insert. The next example that we saw, Sammy, will you take that? When we were kind of going through memory keeping last week was taking a postcard. So adding in a postcard. And postcards are great to add in as a tip-in because there we can add our journaling if we'd like on the back of a postcard. We even talked about when we're traveling, mailing ourselves a postcard. So actually writing your note to yourself and then mailing it from wherever you are. Depending on where you're traveling, sometimes you can get stamps that are specific to that area or even that country, even special postmarks. So that's kind of a fun thing if you're kind of doing a traveler's notebook. So a couple different examples of tip-ins. We're going to make a tip-in. So what we want to start out with, I have started out with, hang tight. I have started out with a couple of different 6x8 papers. So this is the Storyline Chapters collection, one of the Storyline Chapters collection from Heidi Swap. I have linked to that in the description of the video as well. But 6x8 papers, if you have a 6x8 pad, you guys, if you are using a standard or a standard wide traveler's notebook, our standards, if you remember, are 8.25 inches tall by 5. So standard wide is 8.25 by 5. Our 6x8 papers then are sized really well already for that size. If you have a smaller or a wider traveler's notebook, if you have a pocket or a passport or a B6, whatever it is you have, you may be able to work with a 6x8 or you may have to work with a 12x12. But when I'm doing just single tip-ins, I like to use a 6x8. Now, some 6x8s...
I'm stealing this from you.
Okay. Some 6x8, Sammy, will you hand me that 6x8 pad that's right behind you? No, right behind your computer, right behind your screen. There we go. So some 6x8 pads, this is Simple Stories. These are double-sided. So that's nice when I'm doing a tip-in because I have pattern on both sides. For the most part, when you're working with a 6x8 pad or 6x8 paper, the scale of the pattern is shrunk down. And what's nice about that, you get a little bit more of that pattern in your piece. So, for example, that is a 6x8, and this is the 12x12. So you can see how my little butterflies are just, the scale's a little bit smaller. So I get more of the pattern in a 6x8. So this particular pad that I am working with right here, this is not double-sided. Well, it's double-sided. It's just that it's white on the back side. So I could still go ahead and create my tip in and just have it pattern on one side and white on the back. Or I could adhere two pieces back to back for my tip in. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to just get out my tape runner here. Oh, let me get the glasses. As I'm working, we're going to cross our fingers, you guys, that we don't have another earthquake. We had, my gosh.
We've been bombarded.
On the 18th of March, we had a good one. It was 5.6. And then earlier this week, I think it was Wednesday, we had another one, an aftershock that was 4.2. So.
I don't know if that's still considered an aftershock at that point.
Okay, Sammy. All right, so I'm pulling in my trimmer, and this is 6x8. If I am working with a standard wide insert, that is 5 inches wide. If I cut this to 5 inches, and I'm going to cut it to 5 inches just so I can show you. If I cut this to 5 inches, let's see, a little small work surface here, and I go ahead and try to add that as a tip in, when I close that, it's going to stick out a bit. See, because even though the paper is 5 inches, my insert is 5 inches, by the time that I close it, it's pushing that out a bit. And I don't want it to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want it to do that. So generally what I will do is I will trim that to 4 3/4. It just makes it a little bit narrower so that when I put it in again and when I close that insert, it is not sticking out the top. So let me get rid of that just so that's not in our way. And I'm going to pull this little guy out. It's much easier to work with your inserts if they're not in your, the way. In your traveler's notebook. All right, so now I'm gonna come back and let's say I want this little guy to be, oh, I don't want it in there. I want it in this one. All right, so I need to pull this one out. Where is it in the center there? Oh, sometimes I get, there we go. All right, so let's try that again. Here is my insert that I think we did that. Maybe I think this one was all in part 2, I think we did. All right, so now we're going to do our tip in. And I'm gonna come, let's just say we wanna come right here. And I'm going to grab some washi. Oh, let's do this one, this is pretty. That little, oh, that's good too, Sam. All right, so rainbow washi, that is also part of the Heidi Swap storyline chapters. Let's get that off. All right, so, excuse you.
Sorry.
That wasn't me, that was Sam.
that was me.
Okay.
Don't be trying to say my
Oh.
mom burped on camera. She's too ladylike for that.
Yes, actually, before I put that in, I'm going to go ahead, I grabbed my corner rounder, and I want to round those corners. And that's just something I like to do. The pages of my Traveler's Notebook insert are rounded, so I just rounded the top and bottom outside covers. All right, now let's go back to our washi. So I'm just gonna lay that in there, and I am about even top to bottom. And then I'm gonna bring my washi in, and I want my washi to be part of the way on the insert page, and then part of the way on the pattern paper, my tip in or my divider. Grab our scissors here. All right, so now it's pretty secure, but I'm now gonna turn that and I'm gonna do the exact same thing right here. So half on the pattern paper or my tip in or my divider, whatever we wanna call it, and half on the insert. And then I really wanna go ahead and, press that down really well. We talked a little bit, I think, in one of the last videos, you guys, that not all washi is created equal. And it's just how it's made, where it's made, who makes it. Even if you have some washi that's really nice and sticky now, 3 years from now, you may find that it doesn't work at all, that you try to peel it off the roll and it won't come off and it's kind of really brittle and it breaks like masking tape. And that's just some washi will do that. So that's kind of a public service announcement to remind you to use your washi. Lots of times we save it or we don't know what to do with it. So use your washi or else one day it might not work anymore. All right, so there's our little tip in. Now I could just leave it like that if I wanted. And that's cute. That can be a divider in my insert. So I might start dividing my my insert into different sections. If I want to divide it further, I can add tabs. So that is what I had done right here. I've added a little tab to the side of that divider or the side of that tip in. So, and these 3 things that I'm going to show you, these are also on my website. You have the tab sticker tablet, you have the clear tab stickers, and you have the clear label stickers. So I used all of those. Yep, Sam?
Do you have any issues with Washington Holding, the washi company?
With Washington Holding? Is that a company? I missed that.
That's what someone, Corey Grant.
Washington Holding. I think probably what she meant was washi tape holding. I think maybe it was an autocorrect.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
she said washi.
Yeah, right. Sam, you're good, but sometimes, yes, it really just depends on the washi. So make sure that you have a washi that you know has worked really well in the past, or maybe just play. Really, though, making sure that you get a really good even. You want to make sure you get about half your washi on each part. And then I will definitely take my fingernail or a bone folder and really press that in. There's just some washi that's just not going to hold, and if that's the case, then that's probably washi that you don't want to use. I just can't necessarily tell you what that is. I can tell you that the Simple Stories and the Carpe Diem washi is usually pretty good. I think some of the older, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, by now, probably not as good, but everything that I've worked with of theirs that's current, it seemed to hold really well. Okay, so back to adding our tabs. So I just look at my little tab sticker tablet and I find a color that I think would work. I like that yellow because it kind of goes with this whole summery lemon citrus theme.
Mom,
Yeah.
have you already covered how to do your cover inserts?
The question was if I've already covered how to do these slip covers, and I have, and I believe that it was in the second video. So you'll find the part 2 on my YouTube channel, here on my YouTube. All right, so now we are I'm going to add that little tab sticker, but before I actually wrap it around the other side, I want to close my insert because I don't want that tab to stick out so far outside of my insert that then so if I were to put it right there, when I close it, that tab sticker is going to kind of be sticking out pretty far, and I really don't want it to be out that far. I personally don't want it to stick outside of my insert. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm just going to move it a little bit in. And then I would probably close that again and make sure it doesn't stick out. Yep, that's good. I like it there, except it's crooked. And then I will wrap it around. So right now it's been pretty good to me. It lets me pull it off once I do this and really stick it on, I'm probably not going to be able to get it back off again. So make sure you get it where you want, kind of move it around, get it where you want. All right, then from there, I could add labels. So the tab sticker tablet has different label stickers. So you can add different label stickers before our next step. Or you could add these little clear label stickers. So the clear label stickers come 4 to a package. There are 432 stickers total. There's 2 sheets each of 2 different designs. So tons and tons and tons of things that you can label your little dividers. So I'm going to put one of these down right now. Ooh, expenses, purchases, I don't like that. Let's do, oh, how about routine? Routine is something that I think a lot of us are craving right now. And a lot of us are finding that routine is helping us this particular time of coronavirus, right? So I could leave it that way. It's pretty sturdy because I have a sticker, you know, basically both sides of the sticker, so it's pretty sturdy. If I wanted to take it one step further and really, really make sure that that's going to be nice and reinforced. Yeah.
Do you use the plastic tab on top of the paper?
So that's, I did just put this, I put this label on top of the paper tab sticker. Now I'm going to grab this guy. This guy is a clear label sticker. So these little guys, clear label stickers. And if you can, well, let me see if you can kind of see. Depending on the light, you may be able to see. That might make it worse, Sammy. Anyhow, you can see those labels. So,
put your hand underneath it and then you can actually see them.
Okay, thanks, sweetie. So now I have my clear label sticker, and I am going to put that right over the top. Fold it around. And now that is really, 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 really sturdy. If I think that I might want to change what my dividers are saying, like maybe it's routine for right now, but later I might want to change it to favorites or something like that, that is when I would probably put this clear label sticker on after I put on the clear tab sticker. All right, so there's a tip in, and that, you guys, tip in you can use for creating different sections. You can use for memory keeping. If you are adding different photos, if you want to do different things. You could even do a tip in pocket. So we're going to talk about pockets, and we're going to talk about a couple of different ways to do pockets. But the first one is we're going to start out with the tip in that we already have. And I'm not sure what I did with if you guys could see all the things that are around here. There it is. Okay, so here is another piece of 6x8 paper. So if I wanted to make a really simple pocket, all I would do, and I probably would have done this before I did my tip in, but that's okay. I'm gonna come in, I know that this is 4 3/4. So I'm going to trim this to 4 3/4. And that was 8. So I'm going to make this, how about 3 1/2? I'm going to come back here, and I could make a pocket in my tip in basically by taking my adhesive and along 3 of the 4 sides. So the bottom, and I didn't get that very straight, along the bottom and the 2 sides. I obviously don't want to put adhesive at the top, and I don't want to put adhesive anywhere in here. If I do that, it will not be a pocket. It'll just be a piece of paper at the bottom of my tip in. So again, I probably would have done this before I tipped it in so that my tip in would, or so my washi would be, you know, right there as well. And I would have also done it because I would have wanted my corner rounded. But from there, I can add, you know, whatever I want right there in that little pocket. So I can have a pocket that is also a tip in. And I could have a 2-sided pocket on my tip in. Okay, so that's the first thing. Well, that's I guess the first 2 things. The first is the tip in, and the second is going to be the first version of a pocket. We're also going to make another pocket, and another pocket. The other pocket we can put at the very start of our insert. So what I've done here, I have just trimmed down another 6x8 piece of paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me find my 6x8. There it is. Let's find
a nice pretty one.
a nice pretty one. Yeah, one that I'm not using somewhere else. All right, so I'm gonna grab this little guy. And I need that to be, I could have it be 5. If I had it 5, I would need to then come in and unwashi that. So let's go ahead and make that 5. Now, as I am deciding, and you know what? I'm not gonna use that one because I'm gonna end up cutting off. No, I'm okay. What I just did through out loud there, you guys, I started thinking about once I cut, how much of this pattern am I going to cut off? I wanted to make sure that I wasn't cutting off a bunch of the pink because then I'd have kind of a little bit more of a muddy yellow and green that I really wouldn't want to be right there. So this one I need to trim it to 5 inches. So as I trim, I want to trim off this side because I want to see more of this. So it is 6, so I need to trim off 1 inch.
Someone said to round your corners.
Pardon?
Round your corners.
Who?
Someone said on here to round your corners.
Okay. So I now have it 5. And that is going to go right here. And I will round that corner right before I put it in. But now what I want to do is I want to make I want to cut this at an angle so that I can put things in on an angle. If I wanted, I could just cut it just like I did my other one where I just have a triangle there and that can be my pocket as well. But we can do rectangle pockets and then we could do angle pockets. So I am going to measure. And these are just arbitrary measurements. These are just ones that I pick. You obviously can pick, have it be lower so it's a deeper pocket or higher, however you want. So I'm gonna measure up at 3 inches right there. And then over here, I think I'm gonna measure 2 inches from the top. Nope, lost my, all right, so I have 3 inches from the bottom, 2 inches from the top. I am going to line up those little marks here on my trimmer and I'm going to trim. You can see a little bit of my mark there, so normally I would erase that or come down a little bit below it, but we won't take the time to do that right now. Round my corner. And then we can go ahead and apply our adhesive and adhere that right there, and then we have a pocket inside. Now, when it comes to using different adhesive for your pockets, I recommend you do not use glue stick. If you use a glue stick here, that is not going to be strong enough for you to put things in your pocket without that completely coming off. So you can use a tape runner, you can use double-sided tape, you could probably use liquid adhesive, but what, sweetie?
If your notebook is standard wide, where do you get them?
My notebook is a standard wide, and I have those available on my website. I have linked those in the description in the video, and pretty much, you guys, with the exception of like the pattern paper and things I'm using, pretty much everything I'm showing you I have available on my website. So I have added the double stick tape there. I'm just going to peel that off, and I like to a lot of times use double-sided tape when I'm creating pockets because then it tends to hold really, really well.
Do you ever make gusseted pockets?
Do I ever make gusseted pockets? That's a great question. So if you don't know what gusseted means, gusseted, you know, sometimes when you go shopping and you get a paper bag and it is, it's kind of narrow at the bottom and then it's got little side things that help it to open up. I don't know how to describe gusseted other than that. The benefit of having a pocket that is gusseted like that means that it will expand a little bit more so that you can add more things in your pocket. So generally I don't, but you definitely could. And just thinking off the cuff of my, that's not the right cliche or whatever I'm trying to say. Thinking out loud here, probably what I would end up doing, sometimes it's dangerous when we think out loud, you guys, so let's see what happens here. Hang on, I'm gonna cut a piece of paper. All right, so I've cut my piece of paper. Normally I'd get out my scoreboard or whatever. So there, if I go like this, if I put this right here, I'm not sure what's gonna happen here, you guys, so we'll see. So I just folded that in half. If I put the bottom half right there, the bottom half, whatever that is. And so this is gonna be really raw. Well, let's try to fix that. I'm gonna come back in, try to get that there. And I don't know, whoever asked that question is probably like, yeah, that's not how you do it. There's a much easier way to do that. Right, is that, yes? Okay, so I now have part of that little hinge kind of attached. And then I'm gonna come back in on the other side of my little hinge. Oh, be careful. Come back in and add this here. My double-sided tape. Oh. Sometimes, you guys, it's scary when I do this, when I start thinking out loud. And then we're gonna go ahead and put that down. Now, normally I might not put it on the bottom. I might make more gussets on the side. So right now, that's not necessarily gonna work because I haven't done my gussets on the side. But I think that would work. If I added those little hinges right there, that's then going to let that little pocket expand a bit. So I won't take the time during the video to do that. Well, let's see. Do you guys want to see that? Should we try it? Pipe in real quick. Dee. Just fold your edges up. 1/2 inch or half. Oh, that would work too, wouldn't it? Okay, so really quick, Mandy, I think that's your name, Mandy, since it says Mandy Makes. I think what Mandy was saying, we'll just look at this really quick. Here's another piece. If I just folded this, let's pretend like we had already cut this. If I just folded that, my pieces like this, and then adhered, then I would have more of a gusset, right? That would make things a lot easier than doing the hinge. So I would cut it to size, and then I would fold, and now then I have gusset pocket. Love that, thank you. Okay, but so now we have kind of a gusseted pocket, but kind of not. And I can still put some things in there. I can slide, I can slide whatever in just like that in my little fancy pocket. So sometimes what I will use those for, like if I have receipts that I want to keep with me, or maybe I need to return something and I've got my traveler's notebook with me, or more pattern paper to play with or whatever. So little pocket like that. Okay, next thing we are going to look at. Now we're starting to get messy. Sometimes I can handle messy, sometimes I can't. All right, so we did our tip in and then our tip in pocket, and then we did the inside pocket. So now what we're going to do, let me grab our next little set of things. Now we're gonna make a vertical tip in pocket. So this is going to be very similar to what we did on our tip in when I had to double side it, when I had to add 2 pieces back to back because it wasn't patterned on the other side. So I'm starting with my 12 by 12, and I could also do this with a 6 by 8 if I had 2 6 by 8s. So I'm gonna come in, and normally I wouldn't be doing this on top of everything, but I mean, I'm a messy crafter, but not that messy. I'm gonna cut off my product strip first. Then I'm gonna come in, and I want these to be, I need 2 4 3/4 pieces. So I'm gonna come in, and I wanna make sure that I get this part, because this is the part that I'm really going for because it's so pretty. So there's 4 3/4, and then, oh, we'll do this. 4 3/4 again. All right, so I have my 2 4 3/4 pieces. Now I need those to be 8 inches tall because these are going to be tip-ins, and I want them to, generally I like my tip-ins to be a little bit shorter than the height of my insert. So my insert is 8.25 or 8 1/4, so I want my tip-ins to be 8. All right, let's get this little guy out of the way. And I could do the same thing here, you guys, if I wanted to do a gusseted pocket tip-in. I would have made this a little bit wider, like we just looked at, and then folded in my edges and folded in my edges, but I didn't do that. So now I want my double-sided tape, and I'm just making another pocket, but I have to always double check. That's the measure twice, cut once. Look twice, adhere once. So I'm adding my double-sided tape to the left side, right side, and bottom. Like so. Pull these little guys off. Sammy, will you grab that little scallop can that's right by you so I can put the garbage in it? Thank you. I mean, you can just set it, well, there's not really any room to set it anywhere, is there? Oh, thanks. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna do those like that so that I get pattern and pattern. We'll go ahead and adhere that guy. All right, so one of the things that I had in the supply list that I said was optional, but that I recommended that if you have one, you bring it or you use it. For this, I like to always use a 1.5 inch punch, and that's one that's just made by EK Success. I'm going to make a little notch here, and so I punch about halfway through. Now, I definitely will hopefully know that that's a pocket because I can see that's got that little notch up there. So there's my pocket, and then I'm just going to tip that in like we have been doing. So let's just do this one right here. We will take another, let's do this one. This, both washi's I've used so far, that's from the Heidi Swap, that chapter's storyline collection. This is why I probably should have added. If you need readers, you need to make sure to include them in your...
Do you need help, Mom?
Do I need help? I got it, sweetie, thank you. All right, so here we go. We are now kind of getting it centered as much as our eyes can see. Now, this one is obviously a much wider washi than I used before. So that's not a requirement. Obviously, you can use whatever washi you have. Generally, I use just most standard washi is about 15 millimeters in width. So that usually is really good. Something like this is definitely too narrow. I wouldn't try to use something like that to get, you know, part of your washi on both pieces because that's going to be really hard. Well, it's really hard for me. Might not be hard for you, but it's hard for me. Okay, then we're going to do the exact same thing on the back. And here, if we wanted, we already have a pocket. We could, I didn't do that very well, that's okay. We could also turn that into a divider. So we could have another tip in that is a divider and also a pocket. Easy peasy, right? All right, now we're gonna go to something that's a little bit more involved, but not much. Sammy, oh, there we go. My garbage is here. Okay, I need to have a quick drink, you guys. Okay, thank you. If you need to have a quick drink, you can as well. You may. All right, so let's clean up here. I just need to, there's just too much going on and I have too much of a small little space that I'm working in for the camera. So we're gonna clean things up a bit. Oh, that just reminded me because this will help me make some space. You guys, this I shared in the memory keeping class last week. This is the Epson Picture Mate printer. You guys, I can't remember who it was, but bless her heart, because she emailed me earlier this week and she said, guess what? I just found it on Amazon and it is on major sale. I have included the link to that printer for you in Amazon, or to Amazon, in the description of the video. Those have been as high as $249. I bought mine a year ago for $199. They are on sale right now. I think it was $119. So you guys, that is a huge, huge, huge sale. And I think they are realizing that people are home and they are using tools like that. So if you are in need of a little printer or you're not sure what that is, hop back over to video 4 when we're done, class 4. We talk quite a bit about that, but if you are in need of a printer, I would grab that now because I don't know how long that Amazon will have them on sale. All right, perfect. Now I have more room.
Not on sale today.
Not on sale today? Oh no. Okay, well, shoot, I'm sorry. So they're back up to $199, maybe. But you know what?
$249.
What, really? Oh goodness. All right. Well, you know what, you guys? I will watch. I'll continue to watch, and if I see them go down again, then I will make sure to let you know. Well, as much as I can let you know. All right. So our next pocket. We are, and these are all just kind of different variations of a pocket. This one is going to be another tip-in pocket. So, but a different type. See my little paper here? For this pocket, we need our paper to be 9.5 inches wide by 8 inches tall. So if you are following along, 9.5 inches wide by 8 inches tall. Cut this. Nine and a half. By 8. All right. Get these out of the way. This is when we do it live. It's a lot. When we do these things live, it's a little bit harder for me to show you things like this, kind of our little instructions. But I think the live is more fun. All right, the next thing we want to do is we want to fold this. So I'm folding that in half. You can use your bone folder or your scoreboard or whatever you have. So I'm folding it in half. I now need to, before you do anything here, I need to open this back up. So I have the fold on the left. Okay, this is important. I have the fold on the left. I need this top part to be a little narrower. So I'm going to open this back up again, and I'm going to trim a 1/2 inch from this right side. So as long as my fold is on the left and I open it up, I want to trim a 1/2 inch from that right side. So now it is going to be 9. But I wanted to do that before. I wanted to fold before because I think it's easier to fold in half before instead of try to figure out your fold. But you could obviously do that differently if you wanted. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my ruler back out again. Actually, I should probably show you what we're doing since I have my little samples for you. This one. This is another tip-in pocket, but this is, well, there's 2 ways I can do this, because I think I did it the wrong way when I made my sample. I actually have adhered here and here, so my pocket is closed. And normally when I do these, I don't want that closed. So let's do that the right way. I'm going to come in and I'm going to measure up 3.5 inches from the bottom. Right there. And then I want to measure 6 1/4, and these are again just arbitrary measurements that I've picked. 6 1/4 from, so 3.5 on the left side, 6 1/4 on the right side, or the side with that closed fold. Now I need to open that back up, and I need to cut down my fold right to that first mark. Okay. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect both of those marks. So that's the 3.5 right there and the 6 1/4 right there. I'm just going to connect those with my little pencil. Take out my scissors. I'm going to cut along that line. One thing, and I purposefully picked the paper that I did right here because there is not an orientation to this paper. And what I mean by that is the way that I have done this, I didn't have to worry about how I was turning anything or folding anything because this is the same as this, or even this. My stripes would just be running a different way. Same thing on the inside. If I am working with a piece of paper, and we're going to do this one next. If I am working with a piece of paper that definitely has an orientation to it, I just want to make sure before I start cutting that I have, I'm making my marks so that when I start folding things, that things aren't going to be upside down. All right, so then what I'm going to do here, I'm only going to apply adhesive along the bottom and that, actually I don't even need to do it right there because it's that fold is holding it closed. So I'm just going to come in and add my adhesive, my double-sided tape, right there along the bottom. And again, I'm using that really strong double-sided just so my pocket stays intact. All right, so the reason that I have not added my adhesive right here, that now makes it a lot easier for me to slide things into my pocket. So I can also slide more in because it is not, you know, tethered down right here. So now we would just, again, come back and make our tip in. So let's go, I don't know, about right here. And when we're doing this, we want to make sure, I'm going to do it backwards first. Don't do that. Actually, go back to this way. When we do this, we just want to make sure that we don't close that little side of the pocket. So let's go with that one. Actually, that's a little bit narrower. I'm going to go with this one. Half on my tip in, or the pattern paper, half on the insert. How's everybody doing? Did I lose anybody? Anybody asleep? No sleeping? All right. So there is my tip in side pocket. That means I can put more things in because I have not, you know, closed it right there. And then I would just come back again on this side and do the same thing. Dee. All right, you guys, while we're working, remember the thumbs up. Also, if you would, when we're done, just circle back and leave a comment because that is what, I like to see those. And a lot of times I get questions in those and I answer them. Okay, there we go. There is our side pocket tip in. You guys have one more in ya? I have one more to show you. And this is actually not a tip in. This is a pocket that lives outside of a tip in. And that one is, right here. So this is a standalone, right? You can see when I pull that out, this guy is out all by himself. We'll put him back in. And we're going to make that little thing. That is now a double-sided pocket folder. This is the one, as we make this, I have linked in the description of the video, so everybody knows where that is. When the video's done, you can go in and look at all the words that I have typed below the video. I have a link to a video that I have, I put together about 1.5 years ago where we do this together, but I walk you through step by step and we go much slower. So I've got all the dimensions for you and things like that. So let's go ahead and make that one. This one, I will be honest with you guys, I had to make it twice. Well, in my sample, I had to make it twice because I cut it wrong. Because we all do things like that, right? That just happens. So that, we don't need that one anymore. Okay, hang tight. We're cleaning up again because if I don't do that. Are you bored to tears, Sam?
I'm tired.
You're tired. Did you stay up late playing video games again? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You got to do what you got to do, huh?
Gotta help Mom.
No, I know. You're so good about helping me, aren't you? Okay, you guys, sorry. I'm just cleaning up, but it'll make it a lot easier for us to work. Well, when I say us, I mean me. Or maybe you too. If you are playing along, working along, then maybe take a second and clean up too, because it's just sometimes so much easier to work on a clean surface. And if you could see the rest of my room and the rest of my table, you would laugh so hard, because there is absolutely no clean surface in sight, including the floor. There is stuff everywhere. But that's okay, right? Creative minds. And there's another stack on the floor. Okay. Bring back in our trimmer. This is the pattern paper that we are going to use. And let me pull this guy out again just so we can see what we're doing. This is the pattern paper we're going to use. And I kind of cautioned us about doing something like this because this has a definite orientation to the paper. So why that's important? Well, let's go ahead and trim off our product strip. We need to trim this paper to 10 inches wide by 12 inches tall, okay? So it's already 12 tall. We need it to be 10 inches wide. So
cut an inch on each side.
I know, hold on, I have to think about something. Exactly. So, and Sam just brought up a good point here, because not only does my paper have an orientation to it, it also, if I just cut off 2 inches to make it 10, then it's not going to be even. So we are going to cut an inch off each side. So there.
Go less on that side if you don't want to cut off part of your design.
Well, it's okay. An inch and an inch. We're just playing. So we are 10 inches wide by 8 inches tall.
12.
I mean, sorry.
12 inches tall.
10 by 12. 10 by 12. I'm stuck on the 8 inches because that's normally what we do. All right. So to make that pocket, we are going to end up folding something up, because if we look at this, this had been folded up.
Hi, Vicky.
Vicky's here.
She says hi.
Hi, Vic. All right, so I don't want to fold like this. If I fold like this, this is upside down, and that's going to be funny. I don't want that. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to fold like this. Now, there's a little bit of writing on there, but you can't really tell. It just looks like writing, and it's fancy, and so you can't really tell that it's upside down. When you are looking at paper to make a pocket, you want to make sure that you pick a paper that's still going to look good based on how you fold it. So this, what I want to do is I want to measure up 8 inches, or measure down 8 inches. Because remember, my insert is 8. Well, it's 8 1/4, but we want everything 8. So I'm going to pencil 8 inches. Hang on, I'm grabbing another tool. I'm just grabbing my little scorer here so I can get a clean score. 8 inches, I just didn't need to mark that, but 8 inches, okay.
Is that Vicky's top?
This is Vicky's top. It's not Vicky's top. Vicky loves this top and she wishes it was her top. Huh? My top!
You have my top on.
No, my top that you wish was your top. All right, so now we scored that. We're folding it up, okay? We have that. So we have the start of our pocket. If we were to fold this and just put it in, it would pretty much be a pocket. It's kind of boring, but that would pretty much be a pocket.
No, it has a big, pretty butterfly right in the middle.
I know it does. It's pretty, isn't it? All right, so now I didn't want to put this away yet. We're going to open this back up, and we want to score it in half. So it's 10, so I want that folded or scored in half. Now, if you don't have a scoring tool like this one, or any scoring tool, or a bone folder or anything, that's okay. Just fold in half. No worries.
Use your thumbnail.
Use your thumbnail. That works too, right? A ruler like this would work too. As long as you're not, you just don't want, like scissor edge, because that won't work for you. It might cut it. All right, so let's back up and look at what we did again.
Is that a prototype scoring board?
It is not.
Why is
It's a Caterpillar crease.
Why is it patent pending?
Well, things can be patent pending without being prototypes. All right, so we trimmed our paper to 10 by 12. We folded it in half, so it's 5. We opened it up, we scored at 8. So this could be our folder right now, right? That could be our folder pocket. But we don't want that to be our folder pocket because just like we did that last tip in that had that little side pocket, right? We had this little guy that made it easier for us to get things in. We want to do the exact same thing here, which is what I've done. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to open it back up. We are going to close it. This part is really important. I want to have the folded part on my left. So it opens on the right. I want to have the folded part on the left, okay? I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to come in about 3/4 of an inch. And I am cutting at an angle up until I hit that fold. Okay? We open that up and we fold. I didn't quite get it to the fold. Hang on. Oh. There we go. All right, we open it back up and now I have, you guys, I'm sure one of you told me that earlier that I was doing that backwards. Now I have my little side pockets. So I can come in again with my double-sided tape, which rolled away. That's Sam yawning. All right.
Go back to bed.
You can go back to bed as soon as we're done, sweetie, okay? All right, so I put my double-sided tape over there, and I put it over there, and I only want to put it in those 2 spots, right? Because I don't want the top to be adhered, and I don't want the sides. And I don't need to put it right here because the fold is already going to help things stay closed. So we're going to come in and peel those off. You guys remember on this one, because it's a little bit more involved. Thanks, Sammy. Because it's a little bit more involved, I have a separate video that just walks through that. All right. So there's one more step. Now, I would decorate this because it's really plain. That's not the next step. The last thing we want to do is we want to round all 4 of those corners. Normally, we have only rounded the 2 outside corners, right? Well, we didn't even do that there, but normally we're just rounding those 2 outside corners. It's really important on this one that we round all 4 corners, and I will show you why. So we're going to pop that in there.
Mom, who's Lizzie Lou?
Hi, Lizzie. Sam just said, Mom, who's Lizzie Lou? Lizzie is a dear friend of mine.
Have I met her before?
You haven't met her. She lives in Oceanside, California. And some of you, Lizzie does retreats and she does pop-up shops. She, at a different event, she has a pop-up shop. I know I just butchered that. But in fact, I have 2 retreats. Well, I'll be teaching at Lizzie's retreats in November and in October.
Hopefully.
So, well, yes, hopefully.
And then,
Okay, hold on.
Side question.
Well-
Can you stitch the sides?
Okay, 1 second. You guys, really quick, and I haven't mentioned this at the very beginning, I talked about teaching. If you go to my website at lailbymail.com, there is a little menu item up at the top that says, I think, upcoming kits and classes. That is where you'll find me teaching. So you can go there and look at different classes and kits that I have coming up, as well as where I'll be teaching. And you can see both of those, the Lizzie Lou retreats that I will be teaching at in November and October. Okay, so someone just asked, can you stitch up the sides? So could I stitch right here and right here? You could, I can't.
She can sew, but I can't.
You guys, you give me a sewing machine and a bobbin, and it's the worst nightmare you've ever seen. It's like a giant mess, and there's all this bobbin thread right there, and it's not pretty. I very much envy the people that can sew on their crafting projects. I cannot, but absolutely anything we've done here to close something, you could stitch. All right, so the reason why we needed to round all the corners, and we really don't care about those, that's just more of a design aesthetic right there. But these, that was important. So when that was closed, we rounded and rounded. That is important because when we go to put this into our traveler's notebook and it's going through the elastic, see how the fact that I have rounded those corners, it gives it a place for the elastic to sit. If I have not rounded those corners, then that elastic is taut and it is going to pull and it's going to start to tear our pocket folder. So that's why we want to make sure to come in and definitely round those two inside corners, if you will.
Mom, there's a few people in here saying that they want you to go to the Midwest to teach.
The Midwest, I know. So let's pull Sam, will you help change the camera around? Because you guys, that is that's gonna wrap up, but not done yet. That is just gonna wrap up our kind of playing together and having fun and making things part of today's video. So let's will you help to turn the camera, Sam?
I have to stretch out.
Okay. We have to stretch, I know. And you might want to turn on the overhead. Whoa, look at me. We're a little bit Blair Witchy as we're moving around, aren't we?
Yep, Blair Witch Project. Our house is haunted.
Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. You guys still here? I think lots of you are still here. I'm glad. Yay! Okay, you guys. So I want to answer that last question about coming to the Midwest. So Midwest is a big area. I was in Minnesota. Minnesota's kind of Midwest, right? I was in Minnesota at Firefly Farm teaching in February. Right now I am talking with a store just early stages, but talking with a store in Indiana. And really, I go depending on the stores that contact me. So I do a lot of teaching the western part of the United States. You guys know that. I also do a good amount of teaching with Scrapbook and Cards Today, their crop and create events up in Canada. And there are more of those coming in 2021 that I will be teaching at. So just kind of earmark, I guess, that. Sam, will you look just to see if there are more? Okay, I'm trying to see you guys. Love the video. Keep them coming. Standalone pocket. Yes, Vicki, yes. What city? Kendra. Maybe Indianapolis. The store's called Doodlebug.
Mom, someone's saying come to Florida, and if you go to Florida, I'm gonna come.
You guys, I will come to lots of different places. It's just usually a matter of working with the store. So if you have a store in your area, then have them reach out to me, and then we can certainly talk about that. Okay, you guys, so that was another fun one. We did lots of fun things in terms of making our traveler's notebooks more functional. This is week 5, and we talked a little bit about that at the beginning of the video, and I'm not going to cry again because I already got that out of the way.
Okay, this is actually a good question.
Okay.
Will you be coming back to the locations that you had to cancel for this year?
Oh, okay, great question. So
that was from Debbie Page.
So far, 2 of my teaching engagements have been canceled. One that was at Creative Escape in Los Gatos, California. That was the end of March. We will be rescheduling that. We just don't know when. So stay tuned to hear from me and the store on that one if you had signed up. The other one was this weekend, and this weekend was at NOCO Crop Stop in Colorado. That one we are not able to reschedule. There's just between what the store has scheduled and what I have scheduled, hopefully scheduled, all of us. There's just not, we can't figure out a way to make that work. So we have shipped kits to the store. I have. So if you are part of Colorado and didn't get a chance to get in on that, reach out to Kim or Linda, or reach out to me and I'll help facilitate that. But I will tell you guys, so when I'm traveling and teaching, I also do the kits on my website. And any of you that have either taken a class from me before or purchased a kit from me before, you know that I am very, very, very type A when it comes to instructions. So it's almost like I'm there with you. There are a few more, well, there are more events that I have. I'll be teaching at in more stores this year, hopefully. Right now, we're just kind of in a holding pattern. But this is you guys given me a whole other outlook on things in terms of how I teach. So I am very actively looking when I can find the time. I'm very busy, which is good. I mean, right now, I've got so much going on, and I don't mean that to brag. It's just been awesome. I think Sam's ready to get out of here. So Sam is going to say hi, you guys. My sweet Sam. Thanks for helping again, bud. He loves it. He likes to come, I think, as much as you guys like to see him. Anyhow, so looking at different ways that I could do some classes online. Yep, thanks, Sam. You're good.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, sweetie. Oh, yeah, be careful. The floor's messy, remember? So looking at some different ways that I can do some online classes, whether it be through YouTube, something like this, but more of a project type where we take, a mini album and we actually work through the project as if it was, as if we were all together, but not together. So looking at YouTube, also looking at a Zoom conference meeting where we could do the same thing, even looking at maybe doing something on like a private Facebook Live. So stay tuned for that. All of these things I say stay tuned. If you go to my website, and again, everything, so much stuff in the description of the video. And you guys, I'm not seeing any of your comments. I got to read. Yay, online classes, blah, you've learned a lot. I shouldn't say blah. Not too late. The one in Southern California. So the one in Southern California, that is June 5th. That is in, not Menlo. It's outside of Thousand Oaks, the park. It's not clicking. We're still talking about that. We just don't know. That's the beginning of June, so we just don't know what's going to happen. So, anyhow, I'm squirrel everywhere. You guys, there were a ton of comments that came up. If I missed a question, if you would do me a favor, once the video's over, just leave me a comment. And typically what I do is right after we're done, I go and start watching and read the comments and make sure that I respond to anyone. So if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comments. And you guys, thank you. So much fun. I would also love to know if there are other things that you would like me to cover. My husband and I went on a walk last night, and I'm like, I need future ideas for class 18. And he's like, what about this? What about this? So we were just brainstorming. As you guys have, I'd love to see this, or could you show us this, or this would be nice. Just leave me a comment or go to my website and fill out the little contact form and shoot me an email, and I'll answer. The next 2 weeks. So next week, we said we were going to do a deep dive into printing. And that's going to take me some work, you guys. I got to figure out kind of the best way to do that. That will probably not be a live. That's probably going to have to be a pre-recorded, just because sometimes when you try to do technology live and it doesn't work as well. So, but we will definitely have one next Saturday. And the Saturday after that, so 2 weeks from now, we will do making your own inserts. And there are a couple of different ways that we can do that. So that's where we are. You guys, again, thank you so much for giving me part of your Saturday. Like I said at the beginning, I love it. It's so much fun, and I'm meeting so many new people. And for those of you that have shopped on my website, thank you. You guys, it's meant the world to me. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting my business. Thank you for supporting my sweet son, Sam, who's here helping us. And I could just go on and on and on and talk. And there's probably 2 of you left now. And you're like, okay, enough already. Let's see. Oh no, I think there's 235 people there still. Okay, you guys, we are, oh gosh, an hour and 20 minutes in. So probably good to cut us off now, cut me off. I was thinking about it this morning. I think after, this is class 5, I think we have probably spent, oh my gosh, I bet about 8 hours together. I bet about a good 8 hours in classes. So I love it. Thank you. Thanks for being with me. Thumbs up if you like the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Okay, now we got to figure out how to turn it off because Sam left. Okay. Goodbye. X, are you sure you want to stop?